What's up, court nerds? Time to get served. It's your boy Phil, and the Queen of Fulton County struck again, dropping another Easter egg and a whole bunch of TPO hearings for us. So I took this one because it has to do with a very pressing issue in our society today. Eggs. Yes, eggs. This all started over eggs. So let's roll, nerds.
Do y'all both swear affirm testimony you're about to give is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
All right. Ms. Atkinson, did you also have Mr. Atkinson? Both? Nope. So Ms. Atkinson, are you going to be Mr. Atkinson's witness? Mr. Atkinson, you swear affirm, yeah? Okay. Are you the witness,
Yes.
Ms. Atkinson? Okay, I'm gonna place you in the waiting room, okay? All right. So, kind of like we just did, Ms. Arnold, you still want to go forward? I forgot to ask that. Ms. Arnold, are you still wanting to go forward?
Yes.
Okay. So start from the most recent event, work backwards, and tell me why you're seeking this TPO. Now, you got to be specific. On this date, he did this, or on this date, he did, okay? Just what happened
Okay.
between him, no one else, all right? And then I'll let Mr. Atkinson respond. Go ahead, Ms. Arnold.
Okay. This was December the 11th last year, of course.
Yes, ma'am.
And I came downstairs in the kitchen and noticed that he had my eggs. I have my own refrigerator. Come back in the sun. I have my own refrigerator that's located in the garage. So he had to go out to the garage and get my eggs out the refrigerator. And I noticed that he had them. And because I have mentioned to him several times before about getting my food stuff without my permission, I said to him, I said, Omar, why do you have my eggs? You didn't ask me. And he said that, he cooking. And I said, you can't just take my stuff like that. I said, I can't afford to feed you and your girlfriend like that. And so I realized he was cooking still. And I said, so how many eggs do you really need? And I think he said something like 7 or 8. I said, I'm not going to be able to give you that. I said, I can give you 5. So I gave him 5 eggs. Okay. And he finished cooking the breakfast. And he took it upstairs to Tiffany, who was in his room. And then I got a text on my phone from my bank saying that Tiffany had Zelled me, I guess, $6 for eggs. And prior to that, what made me go to respond to that text, maybe a couple of months or 6 weeks, a couple of months prior to that, she had tried to address me about a financial agreement that Omar had with me. And she came out of the blue saying something about he was going to pay me. And I didn't know where she was coming from with her statement. And I said, what? And she repeated herself. I said, you know what? I said, stop. I said, you cannot get in between mine and Omar's financial business. So when I received that text, I really didn't even know how she was able to send that to me. So I go up the steps upstairs and I asked my granddaughter, I stopped by her room first and I asked her, how was she able to send me that text through my bank? And so she told me that that Tiffany had to have my telephone number to do that. So apparently somebody gave her my telephone number without my permission. And so I turned around and I tapped on Omar's door and I went in, which is commonplace because we always having to go in there and wake him up and he'll come. That's common in the house that we will enter each other's rooms with the doors closed, tap on the door and just come on in because we've all complained about us doing that to each other. Okay, so I go in and Tiffany's sitting on the side of his bed and she's got a little breakfast table, I'll call it, with the food there, eating her breakfast. And I stand in front of her, in front of the table, and I say to her, and I'm huffed, I'm not yelling, I don't yell. That's not the way I communicate. I have tinnitus and I have TMJ jaw disorder. I go to therapy once a week. That is not how I communicate, nor can I communicate on a regular like that. And so she let me know I was too close. And I backed up and I apologized. I said, I'm sorry. And I said to her, I said, I have asked you before to not get in between mine and Omar financial business. She said, well, I got him now. I said, that's good. I said, but you need to give him the money so that he can give it to me so that he can keep his word. I have
Hold on a minute.
text.
Let me get you back on the connector. Tell me about the violence between you and
I'm
Mr.
about to get, that's how the violence came about.
All right, because
So-
you was on 285. About, I mean, I get it.
That's how I'm trying to lead up to how it came about.
All right.
And so I sit down next to her, almost skin to skin on the bed, talking to her about, you know, how it's important that people get permission, get each other's, you know, stuff. And if they do get it, replace it with same thing. And I can't afford to feed them and blah, blah, blah. And the next thing I know, Omar grabbed me by my arm, above my wrist, in between my elbow and my wrist, and pulled me across the room about 5 or 6 feet. Call himself taking me toward the thermostat, because they said I entered the room before without knocking. And I apologize for that if I did. I didn't remember that. But that's what he did. And he was yelling at me to the top of his lungs. And he was squeezing me by my wrist. And she was shocked, because she said, babe, you know, like, what are you doing? And he was just standing there holding me. I can't remember what all he was saying because he was shouting. And I had to literally shout at him and call him out his name, a profane name, for him to turn me loose. And he turned me loose. And then I don't know how I got to the phone with his mom. I think she was on the speakerphone. And I put the phone up to my ear talking to her, and she was saying something. And I said, you don't know what's going on over here. I said, you're not here. And she said, shut up. You know, she yelled, because that's how they get along. That's how they converse. And I hung the phone. I walked out the room. And then I have a witness right here too, which is part of my TPO. My granddaughter. Would you like for her to continue?
Because I mean, it says on here, whose house is this?
It's his, and I rent.
All right. So he changed the lock. Tell me about when he changed the locks on you.
Okay. Well, it had to be done in between the incident with my granddaughter and him after December the 28th, and me knowing for sure January the 14th. But I had gotten the information through my sister that he had changed the locks. And they told me for me to get in, that my sister said that for me to get in, because he had told, I got text where he's telling me not to come by unless he's there. He'll let me in and out if I need to get anything. And then she's on the other side saying, if I need to get in, she'll for me to let them know the night before, and she'll meet me at the house. I'm out of the city. I'm 40 miles out of the city, listed as homeless. Okay, meet her, and she'll let me in and get whatever I want. And I'm like, that can't happen. And my other sisters, they were trying to, you know, mediate it for me to be able to do that, for us to be able to go in and out and do that. So my granddaughter was able to go in one time before he changed the locks. And I made a list of items for her to get for us.
Hold on. So he locked you out of the house.
Ma'am.
I'm trying to get you on he locked you out of the house.
Yes. And so.
Hold on. I'm going to try to help you move this along a bit. All right. You said you started receiving harassing phone calls from December the 20th.
Yes. He would. Right. Whenever I tried to talk with him, there was no talking to him. He started sending me texts, telling me, you know, what I just said. And he was sending my granddaughter texts, telling her to tell me, don't come to the house. He got people coming by. I had COVID, and, you know, I'm a threat to them and all that kind of stuff. And then, like I said, I don't know really when he changed the locks, but it had to be in between December the 28th and December the 14th. And so I came to the city and filed a police report to that effect, because I really just didn't believe he had done that. So I tried my old key, and it didn't fit. And so, like I said, I called the police and I made a report that I had been illegally evicted. And he would, in between that, if I tried to talk to him or called him or he called me, he's just screaming to the top of his lungs, ranting and raving about stuff that's not relevant to what's going on, telling me I can come back in if I give him $3,000. He need to pay his lawyer if I give him $2,000. If I give him $800 a month, there's no conversing. There's
So
just rent.
how many times was he calling you, harassing you?
Well, after I filed the police report, I'm assuming my brother is the one that told them that I had done that, because I came in the house where I am. I came in the house where I am with my brother and my sister.
Mr. Arnold, who is Mr. and Ms. Atkinson to you? Who are they?
Miss Atkinson is my sister, and Omar is her son, and my nephew. There's my nephew.
All right, hold on a second. Okay, stop for a second. Mr. Atkinson, let me hear from you.
I don't know. Judge.
So hold on, Mr. Atkinson. So you're her nephew?
Can I say this, Judge?
Hey, are you her nephew?
Yes.
Okay, that's okay. Now go ahead. I just want to get the relationship right.
And everybody's gonna be mad at me right now. I have an engineering degree, but communication is not my strong suit. I cannot tell you what. First of all, I don't know how to tell you, Judge. I wish you could experience what I've experienced. She said eggs. She has her own refrigerator with eggs. The day she moved in 2019, she moved my furniture. She drove my car. I didn't even know she had a key. The incident where I grabbed her hand, I have not had a violent act against anyone. She was livid at my girlfriend for trying to help me, not have her be upset about me eggs. I don't know how to express myself. She went when I grabbed her hand, and I did want her to see the thermostat, because the reason why I wanted her to see the thermostat, because that was the second time that day my girlfriend was visiting me in the bedroom. That was the second time that day that she had barged in our room. She barged in. She could have been naked, and she just started changing the thermostat. And that's what she does. She does whatever she wants.
That's not true.
Whatever she wants, and it doesn't matter what I say. This Christmas was the first time that I had the courage to tell her I didn't want her to continue to be living in my house. I didn't initiate that. And let me say this: when I grabbed her arm between her wrist and her forearm, she yanked it away and she pointed at me like she pointed at my girl. And listen, this is what she said. This is God is my witness. She said, "Boy, I will have you locked up." And then she sat next to Tiffany and said, "Look at how crazy he is." I wish you could spend some time with me. And
no.
Miss Arnold, Miss Arnold, he did not interrupt you.
I'm sorry. I didn't know y'all can hear me. I'm sorry.
Can't do it. She know that I am an emotional person. My girlfriend used to ask me, "Why you don't say that to your aunt?" I said, "I'm not in Vicky's pay grade." If you know the type of stuff she has done to people, I don't do that. I don't take people to court. My mom told me to get an eviction for her. I said, how get an eviction? She drove my car. And then that her witness, when my car got repossessed, she had her granddaughter meet me at the door and say, "What happened to your car, bruh?" And then she also had that same 15-year-old girl send, when I got a text from my HOA, got a letter from my HOA. She said, and she didn't even open the because it was a certified letter from my HOA. She had Marika send my mom a text saying, "Your son ain't paying the mortgage." And then my mom used to have to give me groceries. And she argued on $6 worth of eggs. And they like I said, they had a refrigerator full of food. I had to travel to Sharpsburg on a regular basis just to have groceries in my refrigerator. And they living in my house and I can't get no food stamps. And then the first time Tiffany came over, that's my girlfriend. She told me, Omar, you can't have company. I said, Vicky, I'm having company this weekend. And then she proceeded to say, Omar, you can't have company. And then she went and told Marika, Omar don't give a damn about you. And everybody know that's my favorite cousin. If anything, I protect Marika. I don't cause her danger. Marika know every time she goes out and I take her somewhere, she don't leave my eyesight. When she go to games, when she go out with her friends, I make sure she's somewhere in my eyesight. Even the night when she came up there, Vicky sent her up to my house after I told Vicky she can come back. And she sent her up there on an Uber at 9:00 at night. The girl had on biker shorts by herself in an Uber. What grandma? I ain't gonna say that. When she came, I said, Marika, how'd you get here? I said, Marika, you gotta go back with your grandma. And then when Marika left, I followed Marika. And Marika didn't even put the dog, she walked up the street. I followed her up the street. I said, Marika, I need to see your Uber route. I'm not gonna leave you out here in the dark. I need to see. And I stood with Marika and waited for her to get in that Uber. I had to make her even call the Uber so she could go back with her grandmama. I know I don't have a violent bone in my body. I get emotional because I don't know how to communicate. Yes, I have an engineering degree, but I know how to communicate.
Okay.
So I'm sorry, Judge. If you give her whatever, if you know me, you know I don't try.
Mr. Atkinson, this family stuff's worse than anything else. Miss Arnold, he said but you don't live there anymore. Y'all are related. It doesn't look like they.
He lives at 5 Westgate Parkway.
So, there's no other reason. Y'all are family, and I mean, yeah, Mr. Atkinson, I tell you, don't let her live there anymore because that's just not really how you put people out of the house.
May I say something, Judge?
What's that?
I have texts where Omar and I correspond, and I can dispute almost up to 95% of what he said is not true.
Okay.
The way that we communicate.
Well, but Ms. Arnold, I can't solve family problems.
I know that, but I'm just saying what he's saying that happened and the way that it has happened. I have text to show that that's not true. That's not the way that it happened. Right. Now, I didn't get a chance to say or finish about the harassing part, if I may.
Well, but Ms. Arnold, I heard it. He kept telling you he needs all that, and that's what's all about rent.
Okay, may I tell you where I'm left now? I still have not been able to get in the house and get my belongings.
Let's stop. Mr. Atkinson, when can she come get her belongings? You're on mute, Mr. Atkinson. When can she have somebody come get her belongings? Is Miss Renee, is that your sister?
I sent her a text, Judge.
Is Renee your sister?
His text tell me that I can come and get my belongings when he's there.
Who is Renee Atkinson?
That's my
sister, his mom.
Okay, hold on then. All right. Mr. Atkinson only. Hold on. Miss Renee Atkinson, can you take yourself off mute?
Okay, yep, good morning.
Okay, Miss Renee, all I want to know from you.
So halfway through the TPO, it's really about family squabbling, and Manning's trying to decipher what's actually deserving of a TPO and what is just family squabbling over eggs, supplies, a couple dollars here and there. And now Big Mama's involved. So let's see what's going to happen next.
Maybe two things. This is a terrible thing to me, but I'm serious. I talked to my sister. I want to say something because my sister made a lot of statements. The first statement I want to address is the fact when she sent her granddaughter up that night in an Uber by herself. I talked to the granddaughter. I talked to Marika and Omar as they was waiting there for the Uber. And the fact that she said, when Omar said he took Marika everywhere, he did do that. I sold my home. Took care of Marika from April to June by himself. I would check on her every day because she did virtual schooling in a private school because of COVID. And I checked on her because Omar would leave every day going to work. He come home from work. He made sure he had a meal. And when COVID laxed up enough, he took her to park to be with her friends. He took her to the games. He even started taking her to the football games and basketball games with himself, paying for her tickets, everything.
All right, I got you. So,
Hey, I do have the key. I let my sister know that I had the key. And anytime that she wanted to go to that house and get things, no matter how long it took, I'm retired and she doesn't work. I would meet her there and she could take care of whatever she needed to do.
all right, thank you. Ms. Arnold, reach out to your sister. Y'all work it out so you can go get your things. All of y'all can go ahead and leave the meeting. I'm not putting this in place, okay? Thank y'all. Y'all stay healthy and safe. Be nice to everybody. Just work it out so the two sisters, y'all can go get y'all stuff. Thank you so much. All right, let's see. Ms. Johnson, Ms. Edwards. Ms. Johnson and Ms. Edwards. Y'all do hear me, right, Mandy? Okay. Ms. Johnson and Ms. Edwards. Ms. Johnson and Ms. Edwards.
Well, there you have it. Judge Manning, no TPO, not upholding it. Go get your stuff. Big Mom will take care of it. Can't we all just share our eggs? And guess what, guys? Just because Judge Manning's been dropping Easter eggs and taking care of us court watchers, I'm going to give you a bonus clip of this hilarious exchange between Judge Manning and a petitioner who was caught on a bus. It's just fantastic. So let's roll.
Let me turn the cameras off. Donnie Edwards, Ms. Deidre Johnson. All right, Ms. Edwards, Ms. Deidre, if y'all take yourselves off mute, raise your right hands. Not you, Mr. Baker. I'm talking to Donnie Edwards. Ms. Donnie Edwards, you swear firm testimony you're about to give is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth. Ms. Edwards, I don't know where in the world you're at, but you're going to have to be still. You take yourself off mute, Ms. Edwards?
Is that it?
Yes. What are you on the bus? Are you on the bus, Ms. Edwards?
Yes, I'm here.
I don't know how you're going to be able to go forward riding on the bus.
Can you see me? Can you hear me?
You can, but it doesn't look like you can hear me.
I can hear you, but I don't see you. Let's see what's going on here.
No, I don't need to see me, but we'll try this, ma'am. But if you can't do this on the bus, I don't know what we're going to do.
See you.
Okay.
I see like 3 other people and her.
Miss Edwards.
I see
Miss
4
Edwards.
people.
Ms. Edwards. Ms. Edwards. I can't help you see me.
Oh, I see you now. There you
I need
are.
to know.
Now I lost you again.
On the bus.
Ms. Edwards, I cannot help you. You need to, I don't know if you're going to be able to go forward riding on the bus, Ms. Edwards.
I see you right there. But then when I click on it, I see other faces.
I can't do this today. Ms. Free, I'm sorry, I can't. Today, I can't. Ms. Deidre, I'm sorry, I can't. I can't.
I know. My son just got murdered. I'm not even on this type of time. I got a whole list of things that she's done to me and pulled guns on me. She's my, I'm the one that should be afraid to be here right now. And she's a property manager.
Liar.
Ms. Edwards, you
Yes.
get somewhere besides on a bus to do this hearing. I can't do this with you riding on the bus.
Okay, I'm with my client. And this is her trip to the doctor. So that's why I'm on a bus. I actually do have a car. We are on our way back to her home. But that's gonna be another maybe 10 minutes.
Miss Deidre has said that her son, and I'm so sorry, Miss Deidre, that her son has been murdered. And are you wanting to go forward, Miss Edwards?
Is anyone we can do this is for the permanent protection, right? Is there any way we can do a later today or later another date? Because I am us and I can't really discuss everything. And Judge, when I first signed in at 9:30, the owner of the property texted me and told me she was there on the property, which the temporary protection order states that she's not supposed to be.
No, the police was here. The police was there.
Without a sheriff escort.
No,
the police was there.
Now,
Amber, can you give me another date?
Yes, Your Honor. We'll
and she
reschedule
has
for this.
violated it 3 or 4 times since she granted me the order. She's been back over there.
Miss Edwards, Miss Edwards, Miss Edwards,
Yes.
Miss Edwards.
Yes.
Okay, listen, is it the 17th, Amber?
Yes, Your Honor, the 17th at 9:30.
All right. All right, Miss Edwards.
Yes.
We're resetting this to the 17th at 9:30. Miss Deidre said her son was just murdered. She's got stuff she has to deal with, but ma'am, you can't do this hearing riding on the bus. I mean, you can't.
Okay, 17th February is fine at 9:30.
Well, it's not fine for me because I got to go to Kansas City and bury my son.
Your Honor, that took place 3 weeks ago.
Well, Miss Edwards, Miss Edwards, I mean, I understand y'all's situation may be serious, and I'm not one to tell Miss Johnson that it's 3 weeks and she needs to, strengthen up and move on. It was her son, Miss Edwards.
No, I'm saying she buried her son 3 weeks ago.
No, I did not. No, I did not.
That happened when she was still at the property.
Miss Edwards. The 17th.
Okay, I can't really discuss anything.
17th.
People listening.
It's
But I have so
17th.
much to say, and the property owner.
Miss Edwards. Miss Edwards.
Yes.
The 17th at
That's
9:30.
fine with me.
And you cannot be riding on a bus. You're gonna have to be somewhere in a building.
17th of February at 9:30 would be just fine.
You go ahead and leave the meeting. Ms. Deidre, can you write in the chat your email?
Yes.
Okay, if you place your email in the chat, Ms. Deidre, you can go ahead and leave, and I'm so sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Ms. Free. Okay, let's see. Next, yeah.
I hope you enjoyed that extra clip. I'm Phil. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, set your notifications to all so you never miss these Easter eggs dropped by the Queen of Fulton County. You've been served.